Hello, hello, I'm Sean, your Move Madman, and I'm back. And today is going to be a moderately exciting video, just moderately, alright, not too far today, because today we're going to be talking about Billy Lynn's long half-time walk in 4K. So here we go then. This is Ang Lee's movie. Well, I say that, it's mine. I bought it, so it's mine. I didn't direct it though, it's directed by Ang Lee. I'm going to show you the back cover first. Look at that. Awesome, right? Bit of Vin Diesel. Let's have a look inside, yeah? Cool, so wild artwork on that 4K there. That Blu-ray looks good though, that looks really nice. Yeah, so I've seen this already. I compared it to the Blu-ray as well already. There wasn't an unboxing for this because I had to get this second hand, because buying it first hand people were trying to charge me about 70 quid and I wasn't going to spend 70 quid on something that I hadn't seen before. One of the biggest things that drew me to this film, if you see in the bottom there, is that it was, for the first time ever, this is the first time you ever get a film shot in HFR on Blu-ray, or more on 4K Blu-ray, 60 frames a second this goes out. So that was the biggest reason that I got this, because I really enjoyed watching Gemini Man in HFR. Life of Pi wasn't in HFR, but that wasn't really an issue because that still looked beautiful. So I grabbed this, ended up getting it second hand from eBay. It still cost me like 20 quid, but what can you do, you know? We're going to discuss this a little bit. Easy off straight away. A 4K disc shot at 60 frames a second. You know that's going to look better than the Blu-ray before you put the Blu-ray in, but I thought I wanted to be sure, so I had a little comparison anyway. And yeah, surprise, surprise, the 4K disc did look better than the Blu-ray. So picture quality is your first thumbs up. Might be one of the only thumbs up, but it's a good thumbs up. If you really want to see something that's shot in 60 frames a second just to see what it looks like, this is a really good example of that. Gemini Man is a really good example of that. If I can find more, I will be getting them too. I am still looking into more of them, seeing what more ones I can get. There is a rumour that Avatar and Avatar 2 will be in HFR on their 4K discs, but whether or not that's actually true, we don't know. I guess we'll find out when they're released. My first interesting point of this was seeing Chris Tucker in this film, which was a bit strange, and I was a bit like, oh, Chris Tucker still exists. I thought that he stopped making films, but apparently he didn't. There is rumours he's in Rush Hour 4, actually, which, to be fair, if you try to make a Rush Hour film without Chris Tucker, you should probably be shot. So, yeah, I'm glad they're doing a Rush Hour 4. Not sure why he was in this. He was some sort of representative for the people in war, and that was about as far as his character went. He spends most of his time in the film on the phone, talking to someone on the phone, and every now and then he's like, yeah, and then he like just goes back to his conversation, and you're just like, right, okay, interesting character development for this man. This is a war film. I would tell you what war it's based on, but I have no idea, because they don't really specify that in the film. So I went into this with like 60 frames per second war film. That sounds like that's going to be really fun, really cool, and really just like amazing to sit through. It wasn't. I'm sorry, but it really wasn't. I think half of the film was set before the characters go to war, and the other half of the film was set after the characters have come home. But what they did is that they put the two together. So half of the time you can't even tell if it's set before the war or after the war. And then every now and then there's brief flashbacks to something that happens during the war. So for a film that's an hour and 53 minutes long, I probably would have said that about maybe 10 minutes of that was actually war scenes. So if you're looking for a film that's a really big, action-filled, with violence and gore and war violence and all that sort of shit, you're going to be really disappointed with this film, because there's not a lot of action in this film whatsoever. So yeah, that was probably That's probably one of my biggest disappointments, thinking that this was going to be 5 million times more incredible than it actually was. But I do have a tendency to build stuff up in my head a lot and think, oh my god, that film's going to be so good, and then it just turns out to be absolutely poo. It wasn't fantastic. I wanted it to be so much better. The 60 frames per second side of it, the HFR, still looked really good. The 4K still looks really good. Picture details, the colours and everything in here is absolutely incredible, which isn't bad considering it was made in 2016 as well, so it's aged very, very well. That HFR is probably a big contributor to that. If you want to watch a boring war film that doesn't really have war in it, then you'll probably enjoy this, but I just didn't. I'd still give it a good thumbs up. I'd say it was worth watching, but don't expect it to do much is all. Yeah, Billy Lynn's Long Half-Time Walk. So that's it for today. Enough of the HFR. When I next get something in HFR, you guys will be the first ones to know. Well, I say that, I'll probably tell some of my friends before I tell you lot, but whatever. I'm going to go now. If you could like this video, if you could subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to fuck off. Alright, goodbye.